Yeah, it's good tongue. And so the ideal tongue has like a thin white coat, and it's not too red, it's not pale, and it's not too wet, not too dry. It's pretty balanced. Let's look at this tongue.
He's like,
See, also a pretty healthy tongue. So notice his tongue is a lot bigger. And so also we look at like the size of his tongue. So his tongue is slightly bigger, and so with that could relate to this idea of digestion. And so maybe things aren't moving as freely as they could be. But overall a healthy tongue. So, yeah. And so then we would also look at the pulse, but that's boring to look at. But I'll just show you real quick. Is we would check the radial pulse, and then based off of the radial pulse, feeling different characteristics of it, we can tell what's going on inside the body.
you have to do that in simulation.
And so this was used by doctors in the United States in the early 1900s. But then, with the advance in technology, this technique is not really employed by doctors nowadays. So also like the rate of the pulse can also tell us things. So if someone is nervous, the rate will increase. And so now let's see. So these are our needles.
Okay, right? Oh yeah, okay.
I'm going to show you different needles. Okay, so
Just kidding.
so this is I can't use it, but this is the cup that you were talking about, the cupping technique. You put on the skin and it sucks it up. Back to clean this one. So these are our needles. So sometimes they come individual packets, but they're all disposable, so I would never reuse these. And so this one comes 10 in a packet, and so I open it, and typically I just use it in one sitting. And so I don't leave it out to collect dust or anything like that. So for this same packet, I can use for both people if I'm just using a few needles for each, and then I dispose of it. And so for travel purposes, it fell out. I can use this bottle. For travel purposes, we carry just like a vitamin bottle to put the needles in, and then we throw them into a sharps container later on. And this is a Chinese herbal formula. They come as little black pills. And so that one, I just came back from India, so those are for food poisoning.
I thought you were going to eat one.
So I'll do 2 points that you can see on there. So this is a commonly used point for any type of pain in the body. And so just uncross your legs. And then, there we go. And so there's one spot per person. And then from here, so different acupuncturists have different techniques. A lot of acupuncturists use the guide tube. So I'll show you with the guide tube. And so it comes with this plastic tube. And so within here, we put the needle into the tube, and then we put the tube up to this person's skin that's been swallowed by alcohol. And we just check in, make sure that she's good. And it's in.
Whoa. You feel it? Do you feel it?
Did anybody record today's lecture? Can you send it to me, please?
Sure.
Joe, you did such a fantastic job.
Oh, great.
It was just the audio though.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. It's really nice. So I'll say this because I may seem like I'm biased, but I think he's actually a pretty fabulous acupuncturist. So I've had my share of the students and whatever, and I found one who's really, really great. But he's really, really good, and part of it, the yoga background and kind of is very comprehensive. So the information that you guys received today was really great. So I just wanted you to know that because I was just like, wow, it's good. Okay. You just sit
Put
there.
like 3 in there. Go ahead.
That one's really good. It's relaxing.
If you come close, you actually can see it sticking out.
She has a radar. Can you feel it?
And so typically we leave needles in for 20 minutes, but it'll have effect even just now. And so in terms of sensation, I put them in pretty lightly. But one of the things that we'll do is we'll work to stimulate the needles. And so this one, I can already see there's a reaction. Actually, both of them. So the skin is turning red around there. So what that means is that blood is flowing more freely to the area. And so we call it Sha is the reaction. And so obviously there's some interaction going on here with these points. So it's great. And so I could stimulate them, but I'll stimulate yours. Good. So for her, I use
Give me
the
the one on
two.
the head.
So I saw his tongue was a bigger tongue, right? And so, and he's done all the studies he has to work with here. Yeah, we're like, no, I don't put his tongue. Yeah, there are 2 points underneath the tongue, but that's for like hemiplegia. Yeah, no one has that, so it's good. All right, so I'm going to do these 2 points that benefit digestion, and so.
I get it.
But then also a point just to help with studying the same point. And so. And so this is a technique that I really study. And so for most part, we learn how to use the tubes, but then additionally in training, like, because I study outside the school as a Taoist master and also have taken advanced needle techniques, is how to needle without the tube, which is an advanced needle technique. And so the benefit is that I can actually palpate the skin while I'm needling to really feel what's going on as I put the needle in. Whereas with the tube, I don't have that physical contact. And so from here, I make contact with the skin, it goes in, and that's it. And right away, you can see this area of the skin becoming red. And so that's the actual energetic channel. So there's already an effect, which is good. And so, then we oftentimes will do it bilaterally to have a strong effect for that particular point. And so same idea. There we go. And so now, talking about the stimulation point. So if I want to have a stronger effect, so he's a strong guy, right? He's strong.
He does mixed martial arts.
Oh, see, he's super
He doesn't
strong.
like me to tell that. I tell him every
So
class.
he's really strong. So he'll benefit from a greater invigoration of the point. So from here, I just.
Oh.
So it's not going
Guys,
into
better project love. Remember that? Oh, not intended.
Can you feel it?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
And so it's not like crazy stimulation, but just enough that you feel more sensation.
It's like tingly, right?
And then the one on top
I
of
love
the head.
that stuff.
Typically we don't stimulate this one, but we just put it in.
For fun.
Yeah. And so it's great for anxiety. And so like, as acupuncturists studying, we would often just press this point on ourselves right before the exam. Because this idea of this brings mental clarity. And so this point, in terms of yoga, we call it the crown chakra. So how we remove the needles is, see, really good reaction. Okay. See that one and that one stopped. So this one's still like on, it's still working. And so in terms of your experience, like, do you feel pain or anywhere?
No.
Yeah. See, it can be really subtle, and then for you, I stimulate a little bit more, so you're feeling a little bit more sensation.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. Let's make it even. Does anyone have a shoulder to spare? Like shoulder pain?
Maybe really bad.
Well, that's
Right
it's
here.
easy to show to everyone?
Yeah,
Okay.
No, but you'd have to take your thing off.
it's fine. I have a t-shirt on.
Strip time.
I don't know, sometimes.
Sometimes.
No, sometimes people come in here and they don't have appropriate layers on.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So,
Or should I sit here?
yeah, so here, I can just describe it. So this is a technique called gua sha. And so what this,
Oh, wow, that's good
so
stuff.
what this will do is it rubs along the skin. So So you have shoulder tension here.
Yeah.
And so for long-term shoulder tension, this is a great technique. It's also non-invasive. And so basically we can use a spoon or a tool like this just
I'm
to
also
run
here
a
with friends.
stroke in that area.
You're just getting pampered.
And so I won't do it to the extent that it'll become purple, but
You could do
it's but with long-term pain, even just this amount is going to increase the blood flow, the circulation to the area to help with the pain. And it's also really good for boosting the immune system, because it triggers the immune response. And so from here, if I kept rubbing, see already you can see little red spots that are coming up, petechia, they're coming up.
Yeah.
And so there'd be more and more petechia the more I would rub. And so the idea is just like, it's seen in Eastern view, it's just like everything that's coming to the surface is like the pain that she's holding on to. And so it's releasing out through the outer layers. And it's from an energetic standpoint. And so then afterwards, we just tell you to like to keep it covered and not take a shower within the first hour after.
Because you're supposed to keep it so not too much damp, because now your pores are sort of open, right?
Yeah.
So if it's open, you're not supposed to embed it with a lot of water or heat or
Yeah.
whatever.
So
Is that made of anything specific?
this one is, I think it's made out of jade.
Ooh, you did get a spa treatment.
Hey.
You gotta
Okay.
Need one.
But you could use even just a regular spoon, and some practitioners use like the twist jar caps, like the spaghetti sauce cap is one lady does.
No.
And so now take out,
Yeah.
still working, it's good. So here, I just pull out, close the hole. And I don't always use that technique to like close the hole. So the idea is just apply pressure right away after with the cotton ball. What I can show you is with certain points that we are tonifying or strengthening, and certain points we're working to like reduce certain aspects. So this is a great anti-inflammatory point of the body. It's a really strong point. And so from here, so now when I'm taking out these needles, I want to focus more on, because those points are strengthening digestion, so their idea is like, we call them tonifying. So I want to keep the hole closed as I take them out. And so there's not much like a hole that opens, it's just more like an energetic sense. Same with this point. Keep all the good stuff in here. And then with this point, which is a real reducing point, clears a lot of excessive heat from the body. I scrape, and I just pull, and I leave the hole open on purpose. And you can see there's a small drop of blood which comes out. And I just use the cotton ball, and that's it. It's done bleeding. Yeah, it's done bleeding. Good. And that's acupuncture.